Iran government asked Nigeria to release the embattled Islamic cleric Sheikh El-Zak Zaky. Iran government asked Nigeria to release the embattled Islamic cleric El-Zak Zaky, and after 1 day after this coming from Iran government, the movement was declared terrorist group. So that is we really need to look at it. What is about to befall Nigeria? What is the business of Iran government, and what do they have to do with El-Zak Zaky, and should Nigeria panic over that? All right, the next one. Shipping company says seized weapons in Nigeria came from Iran. The same Iran asking for the release of El-Zak Zaky, and the shipping company has also said that seized weapons in Nigeria came from Iran. Okay, we also have this proscription of Shiites group. Proscription of the Shiites group is unconstitutional and discriminatory, coming from Zaky. These were the same people who kept mute when Biafra IPOB was proscribed, and of course today they are coming to say proscription of Shiites group unconstitutional. All right, the last one here: bad governance. Coalition for Revolution to hold nationwide protest August 5th. Bad governance. Coalition for Revolution to hold nationwide protest August 5th. Is this a welcome development? Is it going to make any impact? Is there going to be a change after this coalition protest or whatever? We are going to read them in full and understand what it means. Then we give an in-depth analysis of this. So before we go ahead, do not forget, like yesterday, those of you who joined us yesterday realized we couldn't complete the program because we have network issues. That is why I always ask us for sponsorship. The much you can, whichever way you can do it. We really need your sponsorship on this program because we want to ensure we are here every morning. We want to ensure that no stone is left unturned. We want to ensure we keep broadcasting, we keep analyzing until the day Biafra comes, and even after Biafra is restored. So please, all hands must be on deck. Do the much you can. Let's work together to ensure that Biafra is restored. So please, whichever one you can do, you can call us on WhatsApp, you can chat us. We have outdated machines that we need to get replaced. We also have to fix our internet connection, and it will go a long way to ensure that this program is smooth. Very, very important. So whichever one you can do, call us during the program or after the program, sorry. Let's understand, or let's talk, and then you will be informed rightly on what to do. All right, so the first one: court finally declares Shiite movement terrorist group. I would really like to read what we have here completely. When we read it, then we will analyze what is there. July 27, 2019, the federal government has obtained a court order to proscribe the Shiite organization formerly referred to as the Islamic movement in Nigeria. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Friday ordered the proscription of the Shiite movement as protest by the Islamic organization Rock Abuja. Saturday Punch reports that Justice Nkonye Maha issued the order in a ruling which she also designated the activities of the Shiite organization in any part of Nigeria as acts of terrorism and illegality. The court restrained any person or group of persons from participating in any form of activities involving or concerning the IMN under any name or platform in Nigeria. To complete the process of the proscription of the group, the court ordered the Attorney General of the Federation to publish the order proscribing the responding Islamic movement in Nigeria in the official gazette and 2 national dailies. The judge gave the order following an expert application by the federal government. A copy of the expert application marked FHC/ABJ/CS/876/2019, which was cited by Saturday Punch on Friday, was filed in the name of the Attorney General of the Federation. Justice Maha granted the 4 prayers contained in the application shortly after the Solicitor General of the Federation and Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Justice, Dr. Dayo Apata, argued the application on Friday. The IMN was the sole respondent to the application, but the group was not represented by a lawyer on Friday since it was an expert hearing. Ruling on Friday, the court made a declaration that the activities of the respondent in any part of Nigeria amounts to acts of terrorism and illegality. The court said, an order of this honorable court prescribing the existence and activities of the respondent in any part of Nigeria under whatever form or guise, either in groups or as individuals by whatever names they are called, and order restraining any person or from participating in any manner whatsoever in any form of activities involving or concerning the prosecution of the collective intention or otherwise of the respondent under any other name or platform, however called or described in any part of Nigeria. An order directing the applicant to publish the order prescribing the respondent in the official gazette and 2 national dailies. Okay, Master Victor, what do you think this is a welcome development following the fact that these people have not been violent for a long time? They have been protesting peacefully. I know that they have been, and of course they are not just protesting, but their leader had been in detention and granted bail, but the federal government refused to let him go. So do you think they deserve to be proscribed?
Okay, thank you very much, my sister. Well, the one thing I just want to get straight here and clearly here is whenever Ipob comes out to tell you that Nigeria is not a country, or even if it is a country, it's not a lawful country, it's a lawless country, then what they are doing recently have just proven us right, because how can a government or a group of people who call themselves the government decide which court order to obey and which court order not to obey? Because if you look at it from a holistic angle, it is still the same court that gave the order to grant that man bail on several occasions, and now the federal government is coming to the same court to obtain an order in order to an ex parte order in order for them to be proscribed and declared a terrorist organization. That is to tell you that this is an animal kingdom. This is just more or less like a banana republic where human right is not guaranteed anymore, where the life of the people is not guaranteed. Because how can it be a welcome development? That is why a lot of people, I just want to use this opportunity to address this a little bit the way I can. A lot of people have even been taking it personally, coming to me, to my inbox and other places to tell me to mind my own business, that I should leave the Shiite business for them and all of that. But that is not how it is done. We are humanists, we are not anarchists. We condemn injustice anywhere it is happening. And if you listen carefully to our leader's speech yesterday, he was so very, very annoyed. He was mad and disappointed at the way we black reasons at times. We don't reason like human beings, we reason more or less like an animal. We are fighting for freedom. We are agitating to be free. We are fighting against injustice. Now, how can you be supporting injustice that is happening in another place because it is not directed at you? That is how you can end evil, if you condemn evil anywhere you see it. That is what I keep saying here every time. When you see evil, you keep quiet in the face of evil, then you are far more worse than those who commit the evil. That is why some people think that I have any grudges against all these people that practice religion in whatever guise they are practicing. No. What I am against is their hypocrisy, is their stupidity, is their wickedness, is their darkened heart. Because when you see evil, because that evil did not come close to your family members, or it didn't happen, it didn't affect you in any way, literally, then you keep quiet, then you are more worse than that evil. So we all have to take it as a point of duty to condemn evil anywhere it is happening, whether it's happening to us or it is not. Look at what the Fulani herdsmen are doing here and there, and nobody is talking. Now it is now visiting everybody one after the other. That is when they think they can talk. Where are the good people of conscience? Where are the Yoruba's media that used to come and talk all manner of nonsense against the indigenous people of Biafra? I think we were proscribed. All of them, they were running their mouths. Now all of them have gone silent. That is to tell you that Nigeria is evil, and anybody that believes or that think like an average Nigerian, they are all evil. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much on that. Let me read their response. I mean, the IMN, Islamic Movement in Nigeria. He said, when they were killing us, they didn't get any court order. No court can stop us from practicing our religion. The Islamic movement in Nigeria says the federal government cannot stop the group from practicing its religion. Abdullahi Musa, secretary to the academic forum of the movement, said this in response to the declaration of IMN as a terrorist organization by a federal high court in Abuja. The court made the declaration based on an ex parte application filed by the federal government through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. But in an interview with the Cable, Musa said the government of President Muhammadu Buhari does not need the court to continue its persecution of the sect. Everybody is aware of their moves. All they want is to suppress the Islamic movement in Nigeria just to please Saudi Arabia. They want to kill El-Zak Zaky, and will you not allow that? Okay, so what do you, just like you said, we have the Boko Haram that have been terrorizing. We have the Fulani terrorist group, and these people we are not prescribed. These set of people we are not prescribed, in spite of the fact that Fulani headsmen have been rated as the fourth most deadly terrorist group in the world, according to the World Terrorist Index. So why is it that they have failed to, they have failed to prescribe the main people, the main terrorists, than looking at people who are fighting for their right hand? So what do you think Nigeria is expecting? What are they expecting by doing this?
Well, in other way around, our people will say in a parable that that is more or less to say that any way they choose to end the zoo called Nigeria is still going to favor us, because we have lost the best we can lose in this very earth, and nothing else matters to us anymore than Biafra. So we are not losing anything now. So when you look at it, the Saudi Arabia government is predominantly Sunni Muslims, and they are supporting their counterparts over here that are doing
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, but now let me even make it more clearer, because when you look at it, I have taken out my time and resources to investigate this very issue, because when you hear an ordinary average Sunni Muslim, they will tell you, please, so the federal government should not release Zaky, or they post threat and all of that. But I have tried to know what
that's to say, sorry, that's to say there are different Islamic religions in Nigeria.
Of course, we have explained. Okay, the Shiites. Yeah,
let's understand them.
The two major Islamic group we have in this part of the world is the Shiites and the Sunni Muslim. We also have the Wahhabis and the Salafists and the rest of them, but those ones are lesser in number. But these people are the two major front runner. Now, they just have the slightest disagreement in their belief, just like the Catholics and the Protestants. They believe in the same Jesus Christ, they believe in the same whatever they are worshipping, but there are some things they don't believe. So that is how it is in between the Shiites and the Sunni Muslims. There are some things the Sunni believe and accept as a normal way of life that the Shiites condemn. And when you look at it, it is one of the critical things. Like now, they don't believe in suppression. They believe that everybody is free to practice whatever you want to practice. But the Sunni Muslims don't believe that. They believe that they must conquer. They believe in jihad. They believe in killing people or converting them by force. But the Shiite Muslims don't believe in that. They believe that you practice it based on conviction. And also, one of the things that started this problem is that when Prophet Muhammad was dead, normally they are supposed to bring somebody from his family to replace him. Yes, normally the people will vote and replace him, but the Sunni don't want it that way. They selected somebody they feel that this person is going to dance to their tune. That is how the problem started. These people will say, okay, since people don't want to practice what you preach, then what business do we have, believing and practicing the same thing with you people? So that is exactly why they have the beef, and they have some kind of divergent view from one another. And that is why the Nigerian Sunni Muslim, they begin to hate people from that very sect, not because they have something bad or they pose any threat, because when you investigate most of the things they are complaining, they are threat. If you even go to that Zaria community where they are predominant, or some places in Zamfara or Sokoto, there have not been any complaint that these people terrorized anybody. There have not been any kind of terrorist activity. Rather, the Sunni Muslim are the men. If you check all the whole terrorist index in the world, it is proudly sponsored, and 90% of them are Sunni Muslim. So why are we deceiving ourselves? The Fulani Muslim, they are Sunni Muslim. The Boko Haram, they are Sunni, and what have you? All of them are Sunni Muslim, and they are terrorists. But why is it that people choose to...
So the Shiites are more of Hausa?
Yeah, the Shiites are the original Hausa.
Okay.
They are the original Hausa, and the reason why these people are angry at them is because they didn't. They could not allow Usman Danfodio to, completely fulfill his jihadist movement. They are the ones that resisted, and that is why the hatred is much, because they can't even produce one single reason, to nail these very people. So, and now they are beginning to open the eyes of the rest of the Hausa who are also in that same slavery, for them to understand that, look, these people have been keeping us into slavery. It's time we fight and resist them, and this their warped jihadist belief.
Do you think this, the last year, we know they have been agitating for the release of their leader, but it became more intense late last year. That was after the launch of radio Hausa services sponsored by Ipob. Do you think it has something to do with this, where the Hausas are,
well, yeah,
are more aware?
It has some. It has some little things to do with it, because some of them don't even understand they are slaves. And when Ipob begin to preach, because some people, they used to come, even that yesterday, say, if I got a lot of attack that why should we be speaking on behalf of the Shiite Muslim when they did not come out to speak for us when we were being killed and incarcerated. I say, but that is not the logic. We are humanists. Everybody must not be like us, and we must not be like every other person. We are not Shiites, and we cannot begin to behave like them. But we are humanists. We condemn injustice. We condemn evil or injustice, no matter where it is happening, no matter who it is happening to. That goes a long way to tell you that what we are fighting for is not just for our selfish reason or for our personal frivolities. We are fighting to liberate people entirely, to liberate the indigenous people who want freedom. The Middle Belters, the Yorubas, did not join hand in one way or the other to kill us, and at the end of the day, but we are speaking on their behalf. Now that the Hasmen is now taking over their land, conquering them, we are still the ones carrying everything on our head. That is to tell you that we are leading by example. We are matured in our own way of reasoning. So now when you look at this very Sunni and Shiite issue, it goes a long way to reveal a lot of interest, hidden interest. A lot of people, they choose to turn a blind eye when evil is happening close to you. What we are trying to do is to destroy this very evil. This is the reason why the 1966 coup happened in the first place. But a lot of people choose to turn a blind eye. They label everything Igbo coup and all of that. So now this very Sunni Muslim, when you look at all the reasons, the flimsy excuses they are bringing, it holds no water, because when you say that the Shiite, they are forming a kind of military group. Now let us get the whole facts clearly. We have Hizbah, militia group. They are even armed. Even Emir of Kano State, Sanusi, have his own armed group, Palace Guard, that is guarding him, and nobody have proscribed them. We also have our other kind of militia group also in several parts of the north, heavily led by Sunni Muslim and operated by them. We have Sharia police, and the rest of them, they are doing they are amputating people. They are doing a lot of detestable thing against humanity, and nobody is condemning them. So what is wrong if Shia should have a kind of a security outfit to protect their heritage from Fulani invasion? So what makes them a terrorist group? And how about the Fulani militia that is being proudly sponsored by Nigeria, giving them AK-47? The Nigerian army is supplying AK-47 to the Fulani people, and even the Nigerian police. All the AK-47 that the Fulani men are using is being supplied to them by the Nigerian police. How about them? Are they not the terrorist group? Are they not the main people that should be proscribed and arrested and incarcerated? But people never try to ask that kind of a question. Everybody kept quiet. Everybody kept silent. That is why our leader was a kind of shedding tears yesterday. I have never seen him got angry the way he is yesterday at the stupidity of a black man, because black men, they are evil, they are wicked in their stupidity, because when you kind of choose one side of judgment, you know, to a kind of the world is supposed to be a balanced place. Like I have explained that before, that the world rotates on a delicate balance. And when you talk about the power of zero, we are at the beginning of the world zero. All of us came through zero. The womb where we developed is zero. It is round. So everything operates on a delicate balance. That is why a lion eats antelope, and antelope eats the grass. Then you blame the lion for eating the antelope, but when the lion dies, the grass eats the lion and the antelope eat the grass. Have you ever blamed the antelope for eating the grass? Or you don't know that there is life in grass? All these green trees you see have life inside of them. So you don't hurt one life to please another life, and you blame only one side of it. So we must balance everything. So if we truly want justice in this very zoo called Nigeria, or in this very particular place, we must have to be, you know, disciplined enough to condemn evil no matter where it is happening. Even if the other people choose to play the ostrich game, it doesn't matter. What we want is freedom for all. After all, our leader has explained it that oil is not the reason why, because now one Nigeria, the root of one Nigeria is the love of crude oil. If you remove crude oil from Nigerian equation, then there will be nothing like anybody shouting one Nigeria. Everybody knows that. Now we have been able to be matured to prove to them that oil or crude oil is not our business. We just want to be freed. See, there's nothing like freedom of expression. If you can be able to express yourself, that is the highest freedom anybody can get. Because when you want to laugh and you are restricted from laughing, when you want to cry, you are restricted from crying. You are thirsty, you don't even have access to drink water that you are thirsty. Maybe they give you Coke in place of water, or they give you something else. You know, you are not free to choose what you want or the kind of life you want. There is no kind of a slavery that is far more worse than that. So that's why we are fighting for freedom of expression. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Let's look at the next one. Iran government asks Nigeria to release the embattled Islamic cleric El-Zak. The Islamic Republic of Iran has asked Nigeria to release the embattled Islamic cleric Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zak to enable him travel to that country for medical treatment. The request was contained in a letter written to the Nigerian authorities by the Iranian Prosecutor General, Mr. Mohammed Montazeri. Agency reports indicated that the letter was written last weekend. I, as the Prosecutor General of the Islamic Republic of Iran, urge the Nigerian judicial authorities to take steps in line with their judicial independence and support for a captive citizen, and provide the ground for his release and transfer him to the Islamic Republic of Iran for treatment. Mr. Montazeri was quoted as saying, Iran is considered a strong base of Shiite Muslims and said to be sympathetic to the El-Zak's Islamic movement in Nigeria. The Iranian government in the letter expressed worry over the current state of El-Zak's health and Nigeria's handling of his case. El-Zak and his followers had for long been a source of apprehension for some members of the public, and especially among the largely Nigerian Sunni Muslims. The group's practice of trekking long distances along major highways and in the process obstructing vehicular movement often brings them into confrontation with law enforcement agents. The bloody confrontation between the group and a convoy of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukuru Yusuf Buratai in Zaria, about 3 years ago, was the climax, which resulted in the eventual arrest and detention of the cleric. His followers claimed that El-Zak had become partially blind and that his health was deteriorating, prompting a fresh application for bail to enable him travel abroad for medical attention. He had earlier been granted bail by an Abuja High Court in 2016, but the government refused to release him. Protest by his followers for his release has become a regular feature in Abuja and Kaduna. The protests were initially peaceful but lately became violent, with many deaths of Shiites, police officers and a journalist. Okay, so now the Iranian government is demanding for the release of El-Zak, and according to this report, the Iranian government, the Shiites, Muslims as well. Now Nigeria is doing the bid of Saudi Arabia, like we read in the first one. So now this is to say it's a battle between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Why can't Nigeria ever stand on their own? If British is not controlling them, Saudi Arabia is controlling them, or another country, what is actually, in fact, what do we envisage from the look of things? What do we expect to happen soon?
Well, what is going to happen is definitely going to happen. And when we talk about the external interference from all this country, look, what they are looking for or what they want or their interest in all of this is a kind of a personal interest and business interest. You know, the British in 1804, a kind of conference they have, you know, they divided Africa and they choose which part best suit their need. Remember, the zoo called Nigeria used to be formerly a business, a company, a Royal Niger company. You can imagine that. So now all these other people too are beginning to develop more interest in things that is going on here. Everybody wants to sail. Iran recently got you know, the opportunity to produce a lot of you know, weapons, and they would want to have an opportunity to make sale. And also Saudi Arabia, remember, they have been the major supplier of the weapon that is being used in Yemen. And now only the trade they have between last 2 years and up until now, Britain have already made about 11 billion pounds from that very war. And now the life of 15 million people is at stake there. 5 million children risk dying. And the Britain, as wicked as they are very, very comfortable making money. So this one is a kind of opportunity they are trying to look, I mean, they are trying to make their business with. So now for them to make the statement, well, when you look at it from a holistic angle, they are not wrong, because that is what it's supposed to be. If truly the courts in the zoo is independent, then that is the simple thing they should have done, because courts should have been blind to personality than the issue for justice, because the court is supposed to respect justice, human rights. That is the reason why the court is meant for human being, not human being meant for court. But now in this very zoo, the opposite is the case. So these people want to use their hand to take care of their own person, because they believe he's an Islamic respected scholar, and they want to also show sympathy to, you know, somebody who is of their faith. And Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, who doesn't have a good terms with Iran, because they have always been afraid of their life, because they are afraid what Iran is going to do to them, because if not for because of the allies they have with the USA, the United Kingdom and other places, they know that Saudi Arabia, I mean, the Iran could have just wiped them out, because Iran have the firepower. So they are trying to use this very opportunity to truncate whatever help they can get from that very angle. So it's just like a world politics they are playing, and the zoo is now playing the fool, because when you you know, begin to start up a fight to kill your own people, are you not foolish? You are foolish, because other people will not allow you to come externally to, you know, sell a weapon that will wipe out their entire citizens. So people should be wise or tread with caution in handling this kind of issue, because injustice, I keep repeating it, injustice anywhere should be regarded as injustice everywhere. Let us call evil evil, no matter whose us is God. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, you know, there was a prediction, you know, we call it prophecy because we have our leader as a prophet, but to the world, it's a prediction. So there is this prediction that came through our leader that war that will destroy Nigeria will start from the north. I don't know if you remember, 2015. Yeah. He said it will start from the north and Nigeria will be decimated, and finally Biafra will come. Okay.
Let me point your attention something that happened even prior to that very prophecy of our leader. You know, after the war ended, the first civil genocide that happened, the Cold War, you know, there are a group of Biafran women, you know, I think they were having some interaction or interactive session with some of our people or some of our journalists back then, and they make a similar prophecy to this very one made by our leader, but from another direction. They say that, you see the way these people killed us in our numbers, they killed us in the north and they killed us in our land. And they said that Biafrans should watch out from now on until anytime this event that we are going to mention now begins to happen, then all of you should get ready to enter Biafra, because Biafra is already established. Is an established kingdom whenever these things happen, and we are waiting to hear what those things are. He said whenever the northerners begin to kill themselves, when they begin to kill each other, you should be ready, because Biafra is already at hand. And now our leader also made that very prediction, and it is happening now. You can imagine, this thing is very, very, I mean, unheard of. I have never heard or seen where an Hausa man or a typical Fulani man, because Hausa and Fulani, they are the same thing, they have the same ideology and all of that.
You think so? Or because these people have...
they have conquered them and made them one of them, so let us just take it that way.
Okay.
I have never seen where an Hausa man will come out and condemn the evil committed by a Fulani man, and the Fulani man will never do the same thing. Yes, that is how it is.
I beg to disagree, sorry, because I know in Port Harcourt we have some of them. Like when they come, during that time President Buhari was still there. So many of them, in fact, from there I now had to realize that, so these people are different. When you tell this on your brother, they will tell you, I be Hausa, I know be Fulani. All that evil they do, you go follow that. You know, they
now, let me tell you the reason why they are reacting that way is because they are in Biafran land. You have not gone to the north. If you have gone to the north to see a
so they are trying to be friendly here.
They are trying to be friendly for you to see them as a good people. You cannot. I was born in the north, remember, so I live with them. I know them very well. Now, Hausa man now, okay, now let me tell you what happened in Abuja. It's recent, it happened not just quite long ago. I think September last year.
Yeah.
Because of a 50 naira change, a Hausa man, you know, stabbed an Igbo man and killed him.
Yeah.
And do you know what? When the Igbo people, Igbo Biafrans in that very area, you know, they deal in motor pass and all of that. When they try to start up a riot to get the Hausa, the stabber man, the man that did the stabber, to also get him to pay for the tribute consequences, the rest of all the Hausa Fulani in that very area, formed an alliance immediately. They came to the rescue of that very man. They took him away.
But they must come. If that's the case, even if it is your brother, you will go for rescue. I don't know if you answer.
Even when your brother committed evil, I don't know Biafrans for that, because Biafrans they condemn evil, even if it is their brother. That
evil, but do you know that evil nature in our land abhors the jungle justice that is going on right now in Biafra land? We condemn it.
Yes, we condemn jungle justice, but what I'm trying to pontificate here is that the way we reason and the way those people reason are different.
They are different. I know of that.
They can openly support evil. Like if you go to the north, there's a lot of evil going on. There's a lot of looting. There's a lot of crime that is going on, that's been perpetrated. But an average Hausa man, you know, we see all those things. Okay, now when they brought Buhari is the most incompetent somebody to run for that very office. But the way these people, they give him support, and they are still giving up to her. Any excuse you bring to tell them that this man is not, they will give you another excuse to tell you that the man is good for the job. But it never happened.
The political ones, or
even the ordinary ones too, they still, unless maybe we've been able to educate them.
Last year when I think the other protests, we kept playing the video here when they were saying Buhari criminal. We know those ones are the Shiites. They were really against him.
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. They've been able to do all those things because Ipob, the youth of Biafra, have been able to awaken them. Remember, we have a Radio Biafra House service where we educate them to know that these people are doing that. But before now, when Radio Biafra is not in existence and all of that, they see everything as normal. They see every evil you do there as normal. Now, do you know that they are beginning to reject child marriage and all of that? But before, it is a normal thing. Even Buhari self, when he was alive, he raped her, he married Aisha and began to rape her at the age of 9. And it is a normal thing in their place. But now, it is no longer normal because we have come out to educate them, to tell them that this thing is evil. That's exactly what I'm trying to let you understand. Okay. So before now, they used to see each other, anything each other is doing, they will support you, whether it is good or bad. Unlike us that would boldly, even if it is our father or mother that is involved, we will come out and tell him that this thing you are doing is very wrong, is evil, we don't want to support evil. So that is exactly what I am trying to point out. So in conclusion, you are saying that that prophecy is actually, that prediction is should be expected sooner than later. And of course, Iran and Saudi Arabia coming in. Do you think it's going to affect Biafrans in any way? Well, affecting Biafrans should not be our major concern because our major concern is for us to know the direction we are going. If it is going to affect us, then it depends on our rules, because when we have some idiot in the north over there.
No, affecting us, sorry, let me correct it. Affecting us should be a thing of concern, so that we will, when we are concerned, we will now know how to handle that particular effect. Is it negative or positive?
That is exactly the point I'm trying to make, that when people, you are only concerned about people who are concerned about themselves. How about when you are worrying and killing yourself over somebody who is not even worried about the situation they are in? That is exactly the area I'm trying to go, because there's a lot of people, when you tell them about, I mean Biafrans, so those who have the Biafran.
Okay, talking about Biafrans.
Yes, Biafrans. Yes, when you tell them about, you know, it seems the. I think we'll be able to convince the.
Let me change the question so that you'll understand. Let me rephrase it. Do you think it is going to affect the movement for the restoration of Biafra, affect IPOB in quotes?
It is not going to affect us, because we
negatively, positively.
It is not going to affect us, because the reason why I say so is, if you look at what is happening now, or if you look at the trends in a proper perspective, you see that even the Yorubas and some other people are beginning to come out and begin to say that we will stand with you to fight, we will stand with you to fight. But this is hardly something you will hear them mention in some couple of years back. They have seen that we have been able to stand on our own. We are totally dependent on ourselves. No politician is sponsoring us, nobody. We don't have any sugar daddy anywhere. So we are standing on our own, and we have been able to secure or carve a niche for ourselves. So now, this is why I say it's not going to affect us, because we have already gotten used to all of those things. So we are still going to stand on our own and do what we are going to do. None of those things is going to be able to distract us, and we are focused in what we are doing. We are consistent. So whatever they are doing is their business. Whether they are killing themselves, it is still not going to stop us from.
In no way it is not in any way going to maybe hasten the restoration of Biafra.
Okay. When you talk about
that's what I mean.
Okay. Well, when you talk about the impact, it may, yes, definitely, it's going to. That's a kind of a fulfillment of that very prophecy, because if this kind of a thing is beginning to happen now, because before now, all the whole brunt, all the whole rap is upon us. We take the rap, we take the blame for everything. Exactly. But now that their attention is divided, now they are beginning to hate themselves. They are beginning to plan evil against themselves. Instead of getting all the focus on Biafra or against the people of Biafra, now they are taking out more time to plan on how to kill themselves, instead of planning how to kill the Biafrans or to do us evil. So if they begin to do that, we will stand by side and watch them kill themselves, and also we also take advantage of that to restore our their nation, Biafra. Everybody will now demand for a referendum or whatever way we are going to discuss about parting it peacefully or in a troublesome way. So whichever way is going to, you know, impact us in a positive way. That is exactly the impact is going to make on the life of Biafrans.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's look at the next one. In case you're just joining us, this is Sunrise Daily News Analysis on Biafra Television. I am Ngozi Chukwuka, and I have Mazi Onyedo Victor with me in the studio this morning, giving in-depth analysis of the news, the happenings in the contraption called Nigeria. This is the only platform where you get the facts. This is the only place where we say it without fear or favor, without minding whose ox is God, without minding their amor tongues. We are here without distraction to say it the way it is. Okay, so please do not forget to support Sunrise Daily, support Biafra Television. Do not forget to support this program to enable us, reach out to more, to enable us to have a free-flowing network. We are having internet problems. We are having issues with our gadgets that are outdated and need to be updated. So please do the much you can. Call our WhatsApp line, chat us up, and then you get a response on what to do. Thank you so much. As you do that, do not forget that all hands must be on deck. Until Biafra is restored, no retreat, no surrender. The money you are making, whichever money you are making, know it that the most important thing is for Biafra. So it should be used for Biafra, because the people at home are not comfortable. We are dying in our numbers. You out there is being incarcerated, is being maltreated because you don't belong there. No place like home. So your home, which is Biafra, should be your first responsibility, your priority. All right, so let's look at the next one here. Shipping company says seized weapons in Nigeria came from Iran. The shipping containers filled with illegal weapons seized in Lagos, Nigeria earlier this week came from Iran, a leading global shipping company said on Saturday. The company CMA-CGM said it was a victim of false cargo declaration. The shipper, who the company identified as an Iranian trader, had listed the materials inside the containers as packages of glass wool and pallets of stone. The containers in question were loaded in Bandar Abbas, a port in southern Iran, and discharged in Lagos in July, the company said. They were then transferred to a depot. Last week, the shipper asked that the containers be reloaded and sent to Gambia. CMSCGM said in a statement, adding that the trader had obtained the necessary documentation and clearance for customs. Authorities in Nigeria intervened before the containers were moved. Nigeria Security Service said earlier this week that it has seized 13 shipping containers in the Lagos port filled with illegal weapons, including rockets, grenades, and bullets. Each shipping container carries 20 wooden crates. The seizure comes as Nigeria prepares for the two. Okay, that's an old news. But it was flashed again because of this issue, the Iran coming in to tell Nigeria, to release El-Zak. But we know also that weapons are being brought into this place on daily basis, into the contraption. So what are they used?
Possible, as long as they are trying to blackmail the Shiites. When you call them a terrorist organization, you must have a way in order to nail them. You must have
that's why the Yoruba Gota media had to pull out this again.
Yeah, exactly, in order to kind of use it to blackmail them emotionally and all of that. You can imagine when the other time they said that the Shiites members are behind the death of their police CP,
exactly.
Commissioner of Police in Abuja, when in the actual sense it was the police themselves that shot their members and also shot the channel television journalist. The record was there, the video was there. So now Nigeria is a country where deception is the order of the day, and where the citizens are, their crime, I don't know how to, I don't know how to, the adjective to qualify their level of crime, because keeping quiet in the face of evil is far more worse crime than any other thing you can imagine, because reading the citizens are talking when things are going wrong. It's very, very pathetic. That is why we Biafrans are different, because we used to investigate properly. We investigate on this hand and investigate on the other hand, to also to be able to come up and to establish it as a fact that, look, what we are telling you is the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you. All
right, thank you so much. Let's look at the next one. Herdsmen and Shiite crisis may end Nigeria soon. Sheikh Gumi. Sheikh H. Ahmed Abubakar Mahmoud Gumi is a Kaduna-based Islamic scholar. In his interview with our correspondent Noah APG in Kaduna, the fiery religious leader answered questions on national issues without fear or favor. He came down hard on President Buhari over the high rate of insecurity and poverty in the country, alleging that it is the worst government in the nation's 20 years of democracy. Sheikh Gumi said he regretted criticizing Obasanjo's government in 2004, saying that he never knew that a worse government was ahead in 2019. He was asked, how would you assess the security situation in the country today? He said, I don't believe so much in conspiracy theory. These things started a long time before the advent of this administration. The Fulani herdsmen menace and its repercussion, I have seen it growing slowly before this government came to power. It became saturated because of the economic factors. Suddenly, the economy came into stagnation and the people became desperate. So the economy blew out and the security apparatus lacks adequate manpower and instruments to control the situation. It was a gradual thing and the economy bears the main point. You could see children under the age of 15 planning to kidnap to get what? Money, because poverty is too widespread. So when you don't get the economy right, you are going to destroy everything. He was asked, some Nigerians allege some people are benefiting from this state of insecurity. Do you share that view? He said, no. It is too naive to think that way because nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. They could kidnap anybody anytime. It is not about ethnic or religious and political affiliation. It is purely economic war. And there is no religious coloration. In fact, when the herdsmen were attacking people in Benue and Plateau states, they said it was Islamization. When they attacked more Muslims in Zamfara, everybody kept quiet. The people in Zamfara state suffered this more than anyone. Herdsmen, bandits, and kidnappers have been largely blamed for the insecurity. Do you believe there is more to it than the common man can see? The insecurity situation in the country today, absolutely, every single Nigerian is feeling the brunt. It is very treacherous. Anything can happen anytime, anywhere. It is widespread. If it is concentrated on a localized place, it would have been curtailed. But generally, lack of institutional infrastructures and poverty in the land are responsible for security in the country. He was also asked, what is the role of religious leaders in this whole situation? He said, religious are of two types. There are those who dance with government and there are those who try to tell the government what it is supposed to do. Those who dance with government can never tell government what it is supposed to do. And those that don't dance with the government, when they speak, they say your position is against them. So government doesn't listen to them. So by this, religious leaders are virtually neutralized. They have no role to play because if you speak the truth, they will say you are in opposition. When they finish speaking, they just want to hear sweet music of approval, even in a serious situation like we have now. Nobody wants to hear the truth. We have reached a point of diminishing returns because indices are not responding to stimuli. You have really seen that things are going out of turns. The former President Olusegun Obasanjo has equally raised the alarm about increasing security challenges in the country. Do you share his thoughts in his recent letter to President Buhari? So when Olusegun Obasanjo was in power, I was among those who criticized him. And when Jonathan came to power and Obasanjo wrote a letter to him, I told the congregation in the mosque that whatever I have said about Obasanjo, whatever I think Obasanjo did wrong to me particularly, or the people, I have forgiven him. This was during the first letter he wrote to Jonathan. So I have forgiven Obasanjo. Okay, looking at this response from coming from this religious scholar, said the killings by Fulani herdsmen and everything has to do with the economy. What do you think? What do you
I totally disagree with him. You know, that is exactly the reason why evil continues to go. If you see evil, call it what it is and stop painting word and stop a kind of trying to be politically correct, because in this part of our world, there is no political correctness to calling a spade a spade. Now that is why I don't listen to all these people that call themselves clerics and men of God or whatever they have. They choose to say what befits them or what suits their need at the particular point in time. Because this same man that criticized Obasanjo, criticized Goodluck Jonathan, is now soft peddling during the time of Buhari. But now that things are no longer favoring him, now it's time to come out and criticize. So I don't believe them. They have to be consistent in whatever they are teaching or whatever they are saying, so that people will know where they are standing. Because if IPOB is like that, I don't think anybody will take us serious. If we talk freedom or Biafra today, then next tomorrow we begin to talk about presidency of one Nigeria, I don't think anybody would have taken us seriously.
Exactly.
So this man, if you have been following him, you will know that he has not been consistent in his teaching. Now, because he's afraid of the Fulani herdsmen, that's why he don't want to say the truth. Who doesn't know where the problem? Look, before you can solve a problem, you need to understand the beginning of that problem. He mentioned that people are going into kidnapping, armed robbery because economy was hard and everything. Then why not mention that very thing that started that economic hardship? mention who is behind it. It doesn't mean he don't know who is behind all of this, or he doesn't know that he himself is part of it, because they did not mask. They supported evil. They supported a lot of things that their people are doing wrong. He was there when our people were killed in Kaduna in 1999. He didn't say anything. He couldn't even address the people in the same mosque. He couldn't tell them that what they are doing is wrong, but he's only choosing the part of the truth that will favor him. So that is why I don't believe everything he's saying there. Yes, he might be right in some aspects, you know, by condemning the evil that is going on, and who doesn't know it and who doesn't see it, because it's affecting everybody. He said that because during that time, that Obasanjo time, they used to bring to him on one occasion or two occasion one or two widow, you know, for him to feed, because there is no money. But now a whole village used to come for him to feed them, because there is hardship everywhere. Then who started it? Is it not their brother? Why can't they come out and tell us the truth, so that let us know? Because they are bringing to everything that happened in this very country, they will say that it is caused by an Igbo man, this and that and all of that. So let us call a spade a spade. Buhari is very, very incompetent, and Nigeria is not even a country. Nigeria is a contraption. So for him to say all of this, and at the end of the day he say that we should fight for one Nigeria, it doesn't just make any sense or meaning to me. The only thing that I would have been listening to is if he can be able to go the direction of the indigenous people of Biafra and say, okay, now that this thing is not working, we have tried the best we can to make it work, it's not working. Now let all of us come together and destroy this very foundation and build a new one. Then that is when people will, because all of them, they mention the problem, there is kidnapping, there is hardship, there is this, there is that. Now what solution are you going to prefer? Now somebody is taking alcohol, and that alcohol is causing him trouble, and at the end of the day, after identifying the problem and the cause of that problem, now you are administering the same alcohol, the same source of that very problem to that person as a problem. Nigeria is a problem to everybody. Nigeria is poison, is a pain in the skin of everybody. Hearing that name always give me a kind of pain that I cannot even explain here.